point was that, well, if you don't like it, we've got plenty of other people who are calling us. We haven't seen a single bit of evidence to that respect, have we?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that strategy is called the anti-sale strategy.
Right.
And there is a famous cartoon program called The Simpsons, in which there's an episode where they come into Springfield and they try to sell them a monorail. I don't know if you've seen that episode.
Monorail. Yes, we've seen it.
Right. Everybody seems to know about that. That's a perfect example.
Well,
sounds like more of a North Haverbrook or Ogdenville idea to me.
Well, it's you go back into musical theater history. What was the 76 trombones? We need a band. Yes, about the con artists who traveled the country setting up bands for boys. It's all the same. It has never changed. What is your thought? I mean, the other day we had the head of minor league baseball, as if anyone actually knew there was a head of minor league baseball before. I mean, who knows if there really is a head of minor league baseball? Who knows if this isn't just some guy they picked up in I don't know, East Providence on the way down 24 and said, "Hey, come here, we'll give you $30. You're the head of minor league baseball." But what did you think of his comments?
Oh, I thought they were disgusting. What he said about McCoy Stadium, I believe it said something. He said something like, "That pig is never going to sing again."
Right.
He definitely said the word pig, and he said something to that extent, and I thought that was just totally insulting, because here in Pawtucket, we don't only have the Paw Sox, we have McCoy.
Right.
And we call it McCoy, and we go to McCoy.
Yep.
So for this guy to come in, I think he flew in on a Wednesday, said as many insulting things as he could to not only Pawtucket, but to Rhode Island, and, then he flew back out.
Yeah, truly, this gang just doesn't seem to be able to shoot straight. You've got a bunch of events coming up, and it's impressive because, we've been involved with our own page here at the show, and we were involved with the demonstration that took place a few weeks ago.
Yep.
What's impressive is when you can not only garner the outrage of people, but if you can get their collective soul, if you can get them involved, if you can get them to, step up out of this, out of their comfy sofa, out of their living room, and into the streets. It's always impressive when you can do that, not only for the people involved, but for the organizers. So kudos to you and your organization. What have you got coming up in the future in terms of activities?
Well, we have on Tuesday a petition delivery event that we're going to do at the State House this Tuesday at 3:30. And we've got about 36 people that have joined on the Facebook page for that. I'm not really sure how many are going to show up, but I'm hoping, of course, as many as possible will show up. We have over 1,000 supporters in just the 6 weeks, with also 70 of those supporters are volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So they are willing to knock on doors, they're willing to call, they're willing to do all of these volunteer activities. And we are going to plan a fundraiser to counter the marketing plan that I think the Paw Sox owners are likely to start over the summer.
So, and that's something that I want to touch on here. I mean, this is something that, you're expecting that this is going to be a very kind of a drawn-out process. At least over the summer, you're expecting to see all kinds of, falsehoods and claims made about what an economic impact and what on the TV and the radio and wherever else they can advertise, probably Pandora and Hulu So why don't you tell people what they can do to get involved? This is not just for residents of Pawtucket. This is for anybody across the state that wants to get involved. Let our listeners know where they can go, how they can get involved, what they need to do.
All right. Well, they can go to the Facebook page, and our Facebook page is called Keep Paw Sox in Pawtucket. So Facebook.com, Keep Paw Sox in Pawtucket. And then we also have a website that's called Organizing for Pawtucket, and they can find that by just using Google and putting in the search terms Organizing for Pawtucket. We also have a sister organization in Providence called the Providence Campaign Against the Stadium Deal. So if they Google that, they can get information on that organization's Providence Voter Initiative. And I don't know if you have heard of that yet.
Yeah, we actually been back and forth with Sam Bell, who's kind of heading that effort up.
Yep. We're working together with Sam Bell, and when Sam gets involved, people better watch out. He's one serious dude.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, again, thank you for joining us today, Mr. Norton. We've had Dave Norton on, Organizing Pawtucket. Dave, we're going to have you on again in the show because we love grass movements. This is Civilly Disobedient Radio. We want to help your organization grow and prosper and bring citizenry and bring a populist message to the folks who run both Pawtucket and the state of Rhode Island. You're listening to The Coalition on AM 630, WPRO 99.7, Facebook.com/Coalition Radio, Coalition Radio, and, of course, www.coalitionradio.us. Stay tuned. Joining us immediately after the break, Representative Patricia Morgan with information direct from Halitosis Hall. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Need a vacation but don't have the funds? Don't worry yourselves. Just stop by Halfway Tree Authentic Jamaican Cuisine for a quick trip to the islands. Enjoy some authentic Jamaican food from Halfway Tree, named Best of Rhode Island by Rhode Island Monthly Magazine. Plus, every Saturday, it's New England's #1 weekly Caribbean party with Paul Michael. Halfway Tree is located in downtown Providence at 150 Chestnut Street. Visit us online at halfwaytreeri.com. Halfway Tree is Rhode Island's leading source for authentic Jamaican food and vibes.
Beacon Shipping Logistics will ship any car, any vehicle, anywhere in the United States with door-to-door service. Just call 855-3-SHIP-IT. They ship vehicles for thousands of auto dealers throughout the country, so you know you can trust them to provide the most reliable auto transport in the industry. And they offer open or enclosed shipping for your precious cargo. Did you see a car online and can't get there? Let Beacon Shipping ship and deliver it right to your door. Need to get your boat from West Palm to Warwick Neck? Beacon can do it. Call Beacon Shipping Logistics for transporting one car to an entire fleet. Call 855-3-SHIP-IT or beaconshippinglogistics.com for service that shines. Let Beacon Shipping Logistics take the stress out of your life. Beacon Shipping Logistics provides the most honest auto transport service in the industry. Beacon Shipping Logistics, your one source for transporting one car or a whole fleet. Call 855-374-4748 for a free quote or beaconshippinglogistics.com.
Now, back to the Coalition with Pat Ford and Dave Fisher on News Talk 630 at 99.7 FM, WPRO.
Loud and proud, outrage porn-free, civilly disobedient radio on Facebook.com/The Coalition Radio, on the Mighty Twitter at Coalition_radio, our website, coalitionradio.us. We blog, we post, and as always, we stream live. Our second guest of a crazy-filled show today. I am honored to have with us on the line one of the true heroes, one of the true representatives who represents the people in the state, who routinely exhibits a great deal of uncommon political courage for a state so hidebound by, let's just say, majority party rule. We have with us Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Morgan. Representative Morgan, welcome to the Coalition.
Well, thank you for having me. How are you this afternoon?
Great. A little background. Why you've heard this name before if you're not from Coventry or West Warwick. First of all, Representative Morgan was on the front lines of the battle dealing with, shall we say, the intricacies of a variety of fire departments sprinkled across the verdant plains of West Warwick. Really, the people's voice for some level of fiscal sanity as fire departments go bankrupt everywhere across the state. You've also heard about her in the last few weeks because she is leading a study group comprised of Republican Party senators and representatives investigating the august Rhode Island Convention Center, which has been a loser, an incredible black hole, an abysmal source of financial woe for the state since its inception, and is the first. And by the way, why I give her a lot of credit for that is that's the type of story that went away for a lot of people 10, 15, 20 years ago. and is quietly buried in yet another budget, another explosive budget coming up this week. And these folks had the political cojones to actually dig this up and say, wait a minute, Houston, we do have a problem here.
They do have a problem. They're taking a lot of money.
They're taking a lot of money. And, of course, this week's episode, Representative Morgan, as we call it, on a takeaway from the Carol Burnett Show of Rhode Island as the Stomach Turns, is you've actually promoted very pro-people, pro-populist, common-sense legislation advocating for voter, shall we say, approval of anything to do with this stadium. So why don't you lead off with that, and let's just spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about all these different issues that you're involved in.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the Pawsox Stadium first, because I know that's what your show is about today. And it actually ties into the convention center, the study that the Republicans did on the convention center. You know, a lot of people, you're right, that went off their radar screen a long time ago, the convention center. And no one has realized that every year in our state budget, there is a line item that is paying a great deal of money for the Convention Center Authority. And we don't know that because a long time ago, even before the first shovel went in the ground, a lease was signed with the Convention Center Authority by then Governor Sondland that said whatever money they needed for their debt, for their maintenance, for their utilities, for their salaries, the taxpayers would pay for it.
Well, and I think that it bears stating here that, this is not, bonded debt service or anything like that. This is just day-to-day operational cash at the convention center.
So it's their bonds, but it's also operational cash. You're right. It's utilities. It's salaries. We're paying for it.
Oh, boy.
And the name that was associated with that deal, that lease agreement, and how it was crafted, was James Skeffington.
We call him Skeffco here.
Skeffco. All right.
Rest in peace, of course.
So he's kind of the master behind all of these kinds of deals that put the taxpayers on the hook. Yep. And I was driving in the car way early. When did he come out with this? In January, February?
February, I think, was the first kind of public rollout of any ideas.
It was when we were kind of looking at the convention center, and we found out about this lease deal. And there was Mr. Skeffington saying, don't worry, we're going to get all private money, right? We're going to raise all private money. We just need a lease with the state. And I thought, oh, my gosh, he's doing it again.
Yeah.
How many times can Glenn Close come out of the bathtub?
Well, I want to touch on real quick. So you had a bill in the House this week.
Away, that's right. Right away, I put in a bill that said, whatever happens there, the people get a right to vote on it.
So you would have put it on a referendum, which is what this bill would have done.
A referendum. That's right. It's the people's money. Come on, this isn't the legislators' money. It's not the General Assembly's money. It's people's money. It's coming out of our wallets,
right?
Our hard work, our sweat.
So,
right? So we should have a right to say whether we want to spend that amount of money building a stadium in Providence.
And so your bill was heard by House Finance this week, I believe.
Right. Yes.
And it carried with it those 4 words that all Rhode Islanders and especially legislators hate: held for further study.
Now, Representative Morgan, when they come up with that lame routine, what is it? Just a gavel vote, and then anywhere from days, weeks, or maybe even months or years of hard work is just shoveled aside, roadkill, if you will, for the next regime? I mean, how does this? Tell the average Rhode Islander who's never been there how it happens.
Held for further study means that it will only come back out if the Speaker approves of it. That's what that means. So you can put in a bill, and, as a Republican, I can tell you, sometimes they just steal our bills. If we have good ideas that they want to pass, they won't let us pass them in our names, but they'll steal them. They'll put their own names on them, and they'll pass them. But it means, held for further study means simply that the Speaker has to look at it and decide whether he thinks it's worth passing or not. So if items or bills that you like don't get passed, it's because the Speaker is stopping them.
So, and this brings me to another point that I want to make. That in the speaker's vote, when unfortunately Gordon Fox was